Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. So President Joe Biden on the warpath today. Now, this morning, he announced a good move to end special trade status with Russia. Essentially, if Congress goes along, the U.S. will boot Russia out of the WTO, World Trade Organization, and impose high tariffs on Russian imports. Okay, so far, that's good. But then, as usual, Mr. Biden went off the rails. Now, he's still making the case that the 8% inflation problem and the $110 oil problem and the $4.33 gasoline problem is caused by Vladimir Putin. So, folks, it's Putin's inflation. And then the president went on by saying, from the moment of Putin's troop buildup on the Ukrainian border, according to Mr. Biden, the price of gas in January went up 75 cents. All right, right away, the Pinocchios are building. I'm going to try to clarify this. Some factoids. In January of 2021, over a year ago, gasoline was $2.35. And then over the course of the year, by October of last year, gasoline was $3.31. Now, in November of last year, which is actually when the Russian troops first massed on the Ukraine border, gasoline had gone to $3.41. Then January, when Biden was flailing at his diplomacy, the gas price actually fell a bit to $3.32, actually lower than November when the Russian troops started massing. Then $3.50 in February, and of course today it's $4.33. So the moral of the story is, yes, gasoline has in fact popped about 75 cents from the late February through mid-March, today, and the invasion unfolded. But before that, for a year, for more than a year, gasoline prices went up about $1, or 40%. And guess what? Between January 2021 and February 2022, oil prices went up 39 bucks, from $52 to $91, a 75% gain. And during this time period, which is roughly a year before the Russian invasion and any real energy price impact, the U.S. CPI moved from 2% to 7.5%. Now, I'm going to concede the last month, really the last few weeks, for gasoline and oil price increase, right? No question. Hadn't really shown up yet in this February CPI. We will see it in the March CPI. But for Mr. Biden's sake, what about the prior 12 months, which is kind of missing from his analysis? There was no sign of the Russians. Something else must have happened. Let me suggest. First, massive deficit spending, $2 trillion in the bill a year ago last March. And then massive money creation by the Federal Reserve, which enabled the deficit spending. The result? A massive increase of inflation starting way before Vladimir Putin's military invasion of Ukraine. And as we learned from the February CPI report, which echoes the prior many months, prices are rising for everything. Goods, services, cars, housing, rents, entertainment, leisure, commodities. I mean, everything. That's not a function of the bumbling Red Army in Ukraine. That's a function of too much money chasing too few goods. And there's more. Biden's war against fossil fuels, creating a regulatory octopus whose many tentacles have strangled our oil and gas industry. He's got crazy metrics, left-wing climate ideological zealots in FERC, Interior, Energy, SEC, EPA, Federal Reserve, and of course the White House. All of this has completely stifled and strangled the production of new oil and gas and pipelines. And Mr. Biden is wrong again on the Keystone. He said today it was not nearly finished. Actually, industry sources say construction could be completed roughly 1 year from now, and that would take 800,000 new barrels of oil from Alberta. Mr. Biden said it would take 2 years or more. So now we're stuck with a major inflation problem and a major spending problem. And there's no administration solutions in sight. And Mr. Biden will not take ownership of his failed policies. That's the issue. This is why I fear this is going to end very badly for the economy, for the country. But as always, I have one hope. The cavalry is coming. Gosh, I hope so.